Hold on, wait. Let me say it again just because YouTube be playing with the intro. Yeah, YouTube. YouTube be playing with the intro. So let me say it again just in case YouTube didn't hear me. Hi guys. It's Ani's World. And today we are going to be talking about busy and unbothered. So, this is like so important to me because it literally cultivates into everything that I do. Okay, let's start with being busy. I think being busy is one of the most important things, and I feel as though sometimes it's overthought or just like too much energy is put into literally just putting yourself on a pedestal. And this is why I love using this word because it has two different meanings that, in my opinion, mean the same thing. Because one pedestal you are sitting on making motion constantly, right? And motion is another thing that, people talk about a lot, you know, oh, I got motion. People love to say that. And another pedestal would be when people say that they are on top of, you know, like literally the one they used to on. And those two combined are literally like those two are literally linked together so well. And it's kind of like a multi-dimensional way of looking at it, right? Putting yourself up on that pedestal and staying in motion on that pedestal is what is going to cultivate you and your craft and your dreams and whatever you're shooting for. I think it's so important to be productive. And productive is not always doing work. Productive is not always cleaning. Productive is also reading books. Productive is also going for a walk and getting fresh air. And I feel as though meshing this into your meshing this into your daily routine, meshing this into your work or your business is what creates motion. Motion is not constantly just burning yourself out and doing work and pushing yourself. That is survival. That's stress. That's a yearning. Motion is putting in that work and, going for a nice walk after, doing something that you didn't necessarily expect to do. Like I do this all the time. Like I'll be in the business of making no, executing plans for myself. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I keep getting notifications. And while I'm executing plans for myself, I'll finish one thing. Maybe I'll finish a meeting or I'll finish setting whatever I need to set up. And I have something else to do and it may take a little while. I might go out and get some food. I might go out for a walk and smoke a blunt or get ice cream or just sightsee and look around. This is the type of things that I like to do that are also motion. This is also keeping yourself busy and allowing yourself to be in a positive, state of mind. Reading a book in between doing things. Yes. I even get my nails done. I do that all the time. Like I will be, say, especially like at the end of the day, like I think that's the best time to keep staying on that pedestal and staying in motion and on your high horse and just exploring in that good energy because a lot of times it'll be like, oh, I'm gonna stop to go get something to eat, and then I'll see something interesting, and I'm like, oh, now I want to go get a massage, or now I want to go get my nails done, or I want to try out a new yoga class. You know what I'm saying? I might be booking myself for something to do for next week. This is also keeping yourself busy and staying in motion. Um, even working on like home crafts. I love doing that, like making stuff, painting. That is also motion. And motion is not just getting money. It's not. just, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe that money is what I am gunning for, absolutely. But, money is not what's going to make you happy. You have to have motion outside of money, and that's why it's important to mesh positive, um meditating kind of states into your um motion routine. I don't like the word hustle, so we're just going to say motion routine, right? So, meshing that moment of reading, that moment of stillness, that moment of walking around, being acknowledged, talking to people, seeing new things around your city while you're getting things done is important. A lot of times, say you have an appointment, right? And you don't have to sit there for 2 hours or do, but you can go walk around, go look around, go see what's new in town, drive around, look out your window, do something with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of time is the issue with people, is that people are not doing things with themselves. And when you feel like you have free room, so a lot of people have free room to create negative feelings, especially if that's what they already have. You know what I mean? Free room to spew negativity and make themselves look crazy. You know what I mean? So you never want to take the time to um put your energy to something outside of yourself. you know, that's like the worst thing you can do nowadays. Everybody knows that. Like if you don't want to be bothered with something, don't acknowledge it. If you don't like somebody, stop talking about them. You know what I mean? It's a very simple thing, and a lot of people know why, but the people who don't, it's like one of those moments, the girls that get it, the girls that don't. As you evolve, um you just don't acknowledge things that are not important to you, and that is including people, that is including news, that is including just anything negative that you don't want to be worrying about. And that doesn't mean that if you need to problem solve and handle something, definitely do that. But sometimes I strongly believe in grounding yourself for a moment before you make your next decision. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you will hear bad news and you just act immediately. And that's why it's important that throughout your day and throughout your or I should say throughout your day to day, that you're doing positive things throughout your routine. You know what I mean? A lot of people just get up, go to work, come home, and do it again, and then go out during the weekend. That's not living life. That's not living life. Even when I used to work, I would go and walk around town. I would do things with myself. I did not just go home and go to work every day. Of course, some days you're really tired, you have to get your rest, but I don't think that's healthy. Create, even if it's small things, like I said, walking, going to the nice side of town in the neighborhood. A lot of people work in nice neighborhoods. You need to move there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go travel from one side of town to another, go to work. And some people, because I know a lot of people who don't work in nice areas as well, but I'm just saying a lot of people work in really nice areas and they don't live there. You need to be thinking about living there. I was always that type of person. Like if I'm in a nice scenery, that gives me motivation, that gives me like positive vibrations, just like being in a rich part of the city or a rich part of the world or seeing something new. That's supposed to motivate you. The economy is healthy, which in turn makes people less healthy, huh? Oh, I don't think. That's because people are choosing to acknowledge that. I mean, here's the truth. You have to look at your day to day, right? Let's start there. A lot of people's lives are really not that bad. A lot of people create mess in their life, and then they go and they complain and they project all the mess that they create. A lot of people create mess through not valuing themselves, through putting themselves last. A lot of people create mess through gossiping all the time. A lot of people create mess by constantly speaking about things that they don't like, watching the news. A lot of people create mess by acknowledging things and giving power to things that they don't want to see. And sometimes you can even be creating mess from the people around you and what they are saying to you. Like, for example, you can be someone who does not watch the news, and now everybody is talking about this happening in the world, and this happening in the world, and this happening in the world. Now, all of a sudden, you're worried about a war halfway around the world that has nothing to do with you. This goes into um if you are like a multi-dimensional person, again creating like your own reality, and I'm not saying that you may not face challenges, but I believe, no, I don't believe, I know that a lot of times people are being a lot more dramatic about things than they actually are, which causes things to be worse. You know what I mean? You're moving in a state of panic and survival just simply based off information that you just heard. You are still physically alive. You are still physically okay. Um, the news is something people should be worried about though, because it dictates the way the country will go. Well, listen, and that is lack, poverty mindset. Truly, when you think in abundance and you have abundance and you move in abundance, a lot of things that may be going on in the world probably aren't affecting you. You may have other issues, and even then, there's always going to be issues. And the more that you acknowledge them, the more it creates. This is why people keep talking about war, because the war that people think is going on is a mind war, it's a spiritual, it's a psychological war. Because you can start putting anything into people's mind and it's just causing an uproar. That's why they say mind over matter. Well, I believe, like, again, this is something that again is in people's mind. People are choosing to see that the world is getting more expensive. Right now, the cost of living has always been going up. It's just now that people are choosing to notice. People who noticed this 10 years ago are rich now. People who were adults and noticed this 10 years ago are rich now. When things become more expensive, your value should go up. You should start talking to your job about raises. You should start finding other streams of income. If the price of living goes up, that means the price of your energy goes up as well. What do you choose to give your energy to? Yeah, exactly. Now we need to focus on the news so we can figure out how to make the government better for not. Well, you know what? If that's what people want to do, you go at it. I personally will, I never watch the news. And I don't know, I don't follow a lot of trends. I don't follow a lot of things. Um I only acknowledge things that I want to acknowledge and that matter to me, such as my health, my money, my daily habits, how I'm feeling. That all matters to me. And anything that is outside of myself either needs to get out my way so that I can maneuver, or I'm not going to acknowledge it. It's simple. Well, um, as I said, I mean, a lot of people are talking about the cost of living right now. People who have money are not worried about the cost of living. People who have money probably have other complaints right now, to be honest. Um, the cost of living is not a issue for everybody. So I believe that a lot of people, because, and this is goes into sovereignty. A lot of people like to project their lives onto other people, and this is why I say what you choose to acknowledge is important. Because if you like are able to rather do what you want, and I'm not saying not, you don't have to necessarily be the richest of the richest. That will come. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you focus on things that actually matter. But when you're not struggling with your money too bad, when you are stable, a lot of people don't have stable lives. You know what I'm saying? Stable means things like a bank account with a certain amount of money, things like a way to get around, things like sources of income, things like a roof over your head, things like good health, a doctor, access to health care. You know what I'm saying? Things like the clothes on your back. Sometimes people think that because and this is a poverty mindset, honestly. People think that when you have a lot of money, you're constantly spending it. And that's not really what people who have money do. People think that when you have a lot of money, you're constantly buying expensive things. And you also have to understand, like, if you are poor right now, I truly believe it's for a reason. Some people are poor because they keep having too many kids. Some people are poor because they won't stop going to jail. They won't create other sources of income outside of negative things. Some people are poor because of the way that they value their self. Some people are poor because of the people that they are around. Some people have poor friends who like to do poor stuff. So they constantly have to hustle and hustle and hustle and keep up with the Johnsons, or they just can't do anything at all because they don't have anything. People are poor because their mind is poor. A lot of times when you have access, like, and this is why, if you notice, places that have great education are usually rather well off cities. For example, Boston. Places like this can afford free healthcare because we have Harvard here. So, I mean, poor is your own habits and mindset and what you choose to be around. Um, People are choosing to put other people's values and thoughts, and this is why staying busy and unbothered is important, because when you're busy and unbothered, you're not worried about other people's opinion. A lot of people are poor because they're too worried about what people would think about them if they tried to get some money. Like, that's why a lot of people are poor, too worried about what other people think, can't live their life, didn't never started that business, never followed their dreams. Now you're poor and unhappy and watching the news every day, wondering what your government is going to do to determine your life. You have no life. That's why some people are poor. That is a huge reason why people are poor. People are poor because people don't know how to put themselves first. Yeah. People are poor because people constantly want to help others, be accepted by others, do what everybody else is doing. You following after people and listening to people who are not happy and don't have money. If you know what I noticed when I realized that I was around the wrong people, when I felt as though if you speak about your life, let that be your life. I have nothing to do with your experience, especially if when you're around someone and you're constantly able to do things that they're not able to do, even if it's small things like going out to eat. People are poor for a reason. I don't care what anybody says. People and a lot of times people are poor because they keep having kids. Like that's the truth. A lot of people are poor because they keep on having kids. One never is enough. One never is enough. You go and keep having kid after kid, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but stop having more kids while you're already struggling. If you're struggling, you should probably put your energy towards things that are not struggling. A lot of y'all be struggling and then put your energy towards love. That's why you're poor. Sorry. You were struggling before. Not everybody is the same. Yeah, so a lot of people when they are unable to live their own life and do what they want to do. That's why if you notice in poor areas, in poor towns in the hood, all they do is talk about each other. That's all they do is talk about each other, judge each other. Anybody who decides to put themselves first and do better for themselves is selfish, is a bad person. Anybody who finds their way out of the hood, people just find a way to spew negativity on. This is what poverty mindset is. And that's why it keeps you poor. When you have a lack mindset, when you don't want to expand your thoughts, a lot of people, and this is why it's important to stay busy and unbothered. Because when you constantly are thinking about everybody else, you're never thinking about yourself. If you're constantly thinking about everybody else, when are you thinking about yourself? Whether it's good or bad, whether you're constantly thinking about everybody else's negative decisions, whether when I see that people are negative or poor or too poor for me, I'm honestly trying to find out how to get away from them. I am. I am. I'm trying to find out why they haven't found a way to get some money. If you're poor and struggling, it's 2026. Everybody's finding all these new avenues of income, whether it's investments, whether it's small businesses, whether it's content creation, whether it's like people are doing so many different things to make money right now. Why are you poor? And a lot of people, have an issue with startups as well. That's another reason why people are poor. People don't ever want to start a business, so they never see it. People never want to at least start school, so they never go to school. People never want to stay at a job just so that they can have a little bit of money in their pockets and be good. So they're stuck at this stage. People don't want to um do what they have to do to get there. And that's why a lot of times they're poor. They're not putting themselves first. Because I promise you, if you put yourself first, if you up your value, putting yourself first means that thinking intentionally for yourself. What are people around you for? Are they taking from you? Are you benefiting from them? Are you learning something from them? And putting in that work, are you doing the job that you may not want to do at the time to get where you have to go? You know what I mean? Are you starting up that business even though you might not have everything you need? Maybe you only have two or three customers. A lot of people never get to see their dreams unfold because they don't want to do the work and they don't want to put themselves first. And they're too busy talking about people that do. That's the truth. That is the truth. And a lot of people rake up karma. And I always say karma is for dumb people. It's like very simple. You make dumb decisions, you win stupid prizes. A lot of people may never be able to accumulate wealth in life because they have stacked up too much debt. That can be debt in the court, in all types of systems. People have debt because of the poor decision making. The debt is also, this is why I say kids, people keep having kids and they're struggling with kids. And they already have a poor lack mindset with the children that they have. So they're not able to get out of poverty. They're not being creative. They're not being busy. They're not on that pedestal. They're not in motion. They're not valuing themselves enough. That's why we have the right to have abortions, because why do you want to keep having kids in poverty? So that you can have them look at the news and tell them how horrible the world is. Learn the lesson the first time. And that, I did want to get into that. Karma is also not just bad. Karma can also be, when you value yourself, people over time will value you. When you believe that you are valuable and you believe that you are something of value, first of all, you walk around receiving. Because if you're something of value, you cost. Always. Whatever you're talented at, whatever you're good at, is something of value. So it needs to be funded immediately. Why do you think people get paid to do hair, nails, content, give advice, show people how to do sales? Because if you are something of value, if you're a valuable person, then you definitely need to be paid for everything. Boom. You have to find out how to get paid for everything. You need to find out how to get comfortable asking for help. A lot of people be talking about selfish. Yeah, you're selfish to everybody but yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, because if you were selfish with yourself, you maybe would receive more instead of constantly giving. Huh? But again, karma again can be a good thing, because I've seen a lot of people who do have kids and they find what they are good at and they find out how to make money from it. A lot of people who are constantly scrolling on their phone have found out how to make money off of their phone. A lot of people have, it's called transmutation of energy. And the thing is, like, if you already have one kid, or if you've already done this thing, and you're already, and you keep seeing that it's you're still feeling the same way. You're feeling negative. A lot of you haven't found that positive outlet yet. A lot of people, and it's sad, but a lot of people think that, oh, if I fall in love and deal with this person, I'll be happy and we'll do this and my life will be great. This will be my positive outlet. When I have a baby, my life will be great. You know what I'm saying? But if you are already and this is again different for everybody, but when you don't truly know what's going to make you happy in your heart, when you're not following your heart, that's the most important thing to do, first of all. Follow your heart no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do, follow your heart. And when I say follow your heart, and I mean that. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about have your heart follow somebody. Your dreams are in your heart. Your desires are in your heart. Your morality is in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And this is why a lot of people are hypocrites because they're not following their heart. And this is why I believe living a judgment-free life and staying away from negativity allows you to think more clearly, right? And even a person with a heart who loves to do for people or who loves to procreate is going to say, well, I can't do for anybody or take care of any children if I'm poor. So I should probably stop giving so much. You know what I'm saying? I'll never be able to give anything if I don't ever learn how to receive. A lot of people, and this can be simple things. This can be respect. This can be money. This can be love. A lot of people have spent their whole life constantly loving and giving to everybody else to the point where when someone wants to give to them, they tell them no. Please, oh no, it's okay. I got it. This is why people end up being so unproductive and bothered all the time. This is why, because as hard as it is, you have to make your own decisions and stay in your own sovereignty and put yourself first and get comfortable with yourself. Because when you don't, you end up with all this malice towards people. You know what I mean? Unnecessary malice that doesn't get you anywhere. And and even then, like, I believe in yin and yang. Not everything that you do is going to benefit everybody, but sometimes it's about it benefiting you. Um and if you really want to be real about that, a lot of the things that truly benefit you don't hurt other people. A lot of the things that truly benefit you keep you safe. You know what I mean? It keeps you just kind of like, and I'm not saying people aren't going to have their opinions. I'm saying you're in your own world, in your own sovereignty. If you can control your own emotions and feel good about yourself, be at peace, right? Nothing can affect you. People can't affect your money. People can't affect, your home. They can't affect anything that you need to your day to day that if you didn't have would upset you. Even people, like, I think about this all the time, like having a full able body, somebody can tear you down as much as possible, or you can lose things in life, but when you have a fully able body, you can get it back. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? And even if you don't, being able to have your own, just whatever you are blessed with is a blessing. A lot of and sometimes people make room in their life for more lack by constantly acknowledging it and talking about it. People make room in their life for more people that they don't like by constantly acknowledging them and talking about them. Now you're seeing their face everywhere you go, you know? People who constantly that you constantly end up sitting around talking about, you're either looking them up, or their face is, you're constantly going to hear their name or see their face, you might have to watch their life get better. That sucks when you're constantly just, this vibration of negative energy around you is just literally pushing you down while you get to watch somebody else level up. I refuse. I refuse. And that's why I stay busy and unbothered. And even in moments where you do make mistakes and you may have struggles, that's why transmutation is a beautiful thing. And staying in your own peace and sovereignty is a beautiful thing, because that means that you can literally take anything, which is a powerful thing because it leaves people with no kryptonite for you. You can take anything and make it into a positive. And when you start to constantly take negative things and turn them into positive things in your life, you walk around with this energy. Oh Lord, y'all, this is facts. When you really study, again, the meaning behind metaphysics, which we talk about this in my 100% metaphysics real explain video. When you have those problem solving skills, critical thinking, when you have a free, sovereign mind, you think however you want. You're not in a perceptual system. Even if every label, right, tells you that you are poor, your mind still says you're rich. This is why mind over matter is a thing, right? You know how many times people tell me I'm selfish, or yeah, people tell me that you're selfish, you think you're perfect. They speak these things, and I think honestly being selfish is a compliment, to be honest. But they speak these things over me to the point that the amount of respect that I get is insane. It is. I get an insane amount of respect because I have transmuted so much energy, and people can just feel that on me. People love me based off my presence. And people will do things that they usually would not do just based off my presence. They're willing to give when they usually wouldn't, just based off my presence and the way that they feel around me, the inspiration that they feel around me. That is a powerful thing. I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? But when you're also constantly, and again, mind over matter, it's something where for a long time, a person who's not in a perceptual system is going to be called crazy and looked at crazy until one day people want to listen to them. And because they're realizing, again, I say this all the time, they thought Einstein was a nut job for how long? Einstein was a genius. It is what it is. Am I a Scorpio? No, I have a Venus in Scorpio though. I love like one. I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra. But I love like a Scorpio. That's funny. No, but I'm not a Scorpio. Um, but yeah, a lot of people will never get to where they want to get because when you're so on that pedestal of staying busy and unbothered, you are just like, you know how many books I've read and how many like philosophy teachers that I have watched, um, how much things I have seen through experience, how many people I've talked to. There's like, it's just like the average person really can't tell me much. Like, I'm lit as heck. Heck. Oh my God, I did a 40-minute video, y'all. I'm proud of myself. Okay, so that is staying busy and unbothered. And again, this is why staying busy and unbothered outside of just hustling. I don't believe in the hustle culture, okay? Like, hustle when you have to hustle. At one point, in order to get rich, you're going to have to hustle. And also think about and transmute the way that you're thinking about hustling, right? And I'm going to talk about this real quick. When I was a dancer, I was like, I remember one day my homegirl told me, choose your matrix. What matrix do you want to be in? I was like, damn, she's right, because I damn sure don't want to go to work. I said, damn, she really is right. Because every time I go to work, I come right back here. Like, I don't want to go to work. You know what I'm saying? And it made me acknowledge things even when I was in that lifestyle and in the nightlife. I felt blessed and I seen so much beautiful, supernatural, beautiful things, beautiful alignments, beautiful confirmations, because that's what I chose to acknowledge even in that scene. Because I said, I could be getting up right now and waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to put on an ugly ass uniform. Probably didn't have time to do my hair, so I don't look good. And I'm up at 6 a.m., which now I do that because I'm in a different matrix. But up at 5, 6 a.m. looking crazy with no makeup on, hair looking crazy, in an ugly uniform with black shoes and black socks to go to work to get my money at the end of the week. Would not have that would not have made me happy. I had to realize I was thinking in a lack mindset. I go to work and I get paid to look good. That's my number one job. That's my number one job is getting up, getting dressed. The first thing you do when you walk in, the first thing that as soon as you walk in to get ready for work, when you're a dancer, is it's a dressing room with a mirror and lights. Shut up and stop complaining. What the heck is wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? The first thing when you're a dancer that you walk into is a ritual that you are a star. You are in a dressing room with lights and a mirror getting ready. There's going to be there's probably might be some lotion, a blow dry, a little extra stuff for you to use around you. Like you're getting ready, you're literally getting ready for a show. Get your mind right. And that was me even as a dancer. This is why nobody could tell me anything because I was grateful for what I had. I'd be damned if I had to get up in an ugly uniform with no makeup, hair looking crazy. I hate it already. No. I'm up too early. No. And then you're telling me how much I'm going to get paid an hour. No. I hate it. How long do I have to? When am I going to get my money? Friday. Next Friday? No. There's 30 days in a month. I can't wait 14 days for my money. I'm sorry. That's not going to work. I'd rather me be responsible for my cash. That's crazy. I had to look at things differently. And this is even for people who are at work. You have to think about people who are yearning for a job right now. A lot of people want a job. A lot of people want a job. But when you think in lack mindset, your life literally just consists of lack. You can't get out of it. You just manifest more lack. You know what I mean? Even I really think about that. Like even as a dancer, I'm like, she's so right. Like I'm so blessed. I have on stilettos that are like $100. My hair is like 300. My nails and feet is 130, 200. Like I'm that girl right now. Like what? Like what? And a lot of people, again, this is when I got into my own peace and my own sovereignty. I'm like, a lot of people don't understand the industry and they don't understand that it's not always what it looks like. But you have to let them think what they want. And, that's how a lot of people make money nowadays, from allowing people to think what they want about them. The spook who sat by the door. I'm about to screenshot that because I'm gonna Google it. What's that book about? But yeah. So that's how, even as a dancer, I went from having a honeymoon stage to thinking that the strip club was the worst thing ever, to then, while I was there, you know, just realizing how grateful and blessed I was. You know what I mean? Um, and I did it so well that to the point where I didn't have to no more. A lot of people also don't ever like the idea of faking it till you make it. Like that's people's problem nowadays too. Like people never want to fake it no more. Like remember when you was younger and like when you're a teenager, and every teenager came from different walks of life, especially if you're from the city. You know what I'm saying? Some teenagers are homeless in high school. Some teenagers are living at their dad's house and their parents separated. Some teenagers live with their grandma or grandparents because at home is bad. Some teenagers are in a program. Everybody as a teenager was living a different walk of life. But you know one thing that a teenage girl did, especially a teenage girl. She's getting up with her girls and she's going out. It doesn't matter what's going on, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, what? Like, I remember, like when I was homeless, as a, how old was I? Yeah, I was a teenager. I look good. I looked really good, and a lot of times I was living it up. I didn't even realize how much, like, I was having my way and how mad people was. I didn't realize. I'm like, why are people so mad? Like, I'm supposed to be a loser like you, but I wasn't, and I didn't realize it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't even realize what you got until you realize what you got. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I always looked good. I looked really good. It was ridiculous. That was actually like one of my daily rituals, like get up and look good. And a lot of women don't realize that looking good is the way to life. Like for men need to realize having money is the way to life. You don't have pretty privilege. You're not a woman. Your body's not fragile. Nobody cares. If you're a fully able-bodied man, nobody cares. Literally. Do you have money? Fully able-bodied men, I'm sorry. Like what, where, why do you guys, what is going on? What's what's going on? This is why feminism did mess things up because we should have not been pushing for equality. The issue with feminism is that we were pushing for equality in a time where um where women didn't wasn't able to have banks and wasn't get paid enough and were being sexually harassed at work, and they were um being put down versus men. Now we need to understand, now that we have equality, we just need to understand that we're not equal. Like what? Thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like that's the issue now. We're not understanding that we're not equal. Now that we have got past abusing women, we don't understand that we were never equal to women. It's just like with black people. Once we got past, and we're still, working on things just like women, but the freedom wise, physical freedom, we're not restrained. We're not going to go to jail or anything that happened to us. We're having bank accounts. Black people can read books and stuff. Black women are leading in education. Same thing for black people. A lot of black people are doing amazing things. It's a lot of people just have black mindset. You know what I mean? Um and that's why even when I come across like things that I don't like or people that I don't like that move a certain way, I'm like, damn, how can I find people but that's not like you? Because I know they're out there. You know what I mean? Like being around people who disrespected me or played in my face. I'm like, how can I find people who know stop playing with me? The heck? Like, or not even how can I find people? How can I make sure people know not to play with me? I'm not one of them. How can I let people know it's Ani's world? you know, and through doing that, I was able to establish um, a growing platform. And again, this is why even when I was dancing, your own sovereignty and not worrying about what people think, staying in motion and staying unbothered is important because people can think anything that they want. I remember times in my life where I had things, but people couldn't physically see it yet because it doesn't just boosh come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to look for it. Sometimes you have to register it. You have to apply for it. Things are not just like, you know what I'm saying? And people will talk about you even when you're content creating. A lot of times people will continuously speak negatively about you until they see you constantly being spoken positively about, and then it just becomes like this kind of undeniable thing. I'm everywhere, babe. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I used to be on Twitter. People have seen me everywhere. You have seen me on all platforms, Snapchat, everywhere. I run it up on all platforms. They know me in my city, they know me out of state, they know me out of countries, they know me. Audie's world is international. Okay. And this is why it's important that, like, sometimes people don't always know. For example, right? I remember I don't know if I talked about this in my other video, but I'm going to talk about it now, where I was kind of getting out of watching some of my favorite gossip channels, because that is one thing that, although I don't really sit around like that and talk about people's lives and stuff, especially like hate on specific people or just everyday, have you seen, I'm not that type of person, but I do love a good gossip channel. Like, yes, gossip to me about the celebrities, da da da. Da. But I've been even leaning out of that. And I remember I came across Deera. If anybody remembers her from her relationship channel back in the day, she now has a YouTube channel by herself where she just travels the world and stuff like that. And one day, she was out in Italy on a boat, and they were looking at like a house that cost $250,000 a week to rent, and like Drake has stayed in there, and it was a house worth $90 million. So they're in Italy, they're on the boat, they're going to the next destination. It's about an hour 2 hour boat ride, so they're just really sightseeing everything. And while she was like getting off the boat back to like where they were staying, um there was a photographer who just started taking pictures of her. And this happens to me all the time, where, people walk around, they're like, you're famous. And that's why I'm like, to the point where a lot of people already know, whether it like, sometimes it just like registering and applying for something, it just takes a while for it to be seen. You might have a car, but you need to register in a shirt, so it might just be sitting somewhere. So people might be like, uh-huh, that's why you don't have a car. Actually, I do, but okay. You know what I'm saying? Or you might have an apartment, but you just haven't moved into it yet. And people might be like, haha, that's why you don't have an apartment. Actually, I do. This is why you can't be worried about what other people are talking about. You have to stay unbothered and on that motion, on that pedestal, staying busy. Slay, thank you. So I just remember, like, yeah, the photographer starts taking pictures of deer, and they had no idea who De'Ara was. De'Ara is a girl with over 1 million followers on Instagram. She's famous. She's a celebrity. And they had no idea who she was, but they had a feeling that she was somebody. They didn't know who she was, but they had a feeling that she was somebody. And this goes again into the way that you treat yourself, you look at yourself, you carry yourself, that selfishness sometimes that you need to have, a lot of times that you need to have. You need to be selfish. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, they knew who that woman was. And when they end up seeing, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll take more pictures for you. And she showed them her Instagram. They're like, jackpot. They read the room. You know what I mean? They read the room. They got what they wanted. And this is kind of the same. This is not kind of the same thing that happened to me. This is happening to me in real time. Where at one point, and this is crazy because once I really started to believe in myself, I started to go viral for more positive things. I started to go viral for being like amazing, basically, doing things that people wouldn't have the guts to do, which is why people love me. Um, but I remember like before that, people, I was still going viral because it was in me. It wasn't something, a lot of things are in us. Like a lot of the love and strength that you're looking for is already in you. But your lack mindset will have you thinking otherwise. So I remember like, I used to go viral for literally just all a whole bunch of negative things, just nothing but negative things. And I remember when I was like, when I realized that, okay, I studied alchemy. So I was like, I went viral for all these negative things. So how do I transmute this? um, Girl, do you see me? I am the body. Okay, but so I was like, how can I transmute this? And once I realized that I was known, I was like, wait, I'm known. And I started to compare myself to like and look at celebrities. I'm like, this celebrity and this celebrity. And I started to say, well, a lot of them are known for bad things or controversy. That's like the number one thing that makes them money, actually, is controversy. And I was like, wait, I think that God just blessed me with like gold right now. I was like, I think I got gold. I was like, I think I know how to turn shit into gold. So, you know. I'm going viral. They're talking about me. The whole I can make the world talk about me. I'm amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter what's going on. They want to talk about Ani. So I'm like, okay, bet. So I'm just like, I'm about to transmute this. And what I did was it just started from the inside out, and that's just what happened. And I remember like when I came back around, by the time that my life had changed and I was no longer in this low space where that I was in when people was talking about me. Now it's like it's to the point where people can't really say too much because when people do talk about me, a lot of the time the people talking about me are homeless. A lot of them don't have apartments. A lot of them don't have transportation. A lot of them have a ghetto, whatever lifestyle, ratchet lifestyle going on. You're funny. So, um, it got to the point where like now where people talk about me, it's like they're looking at the person talking about me, they're looking at me, they're like, anyway. You get what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times, the energy just be speaking for itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like and it ended up making me more money. I actually gained so many fans, like to the point where a lot of like my supporters that I meet in real life, like I'm sure they have seen me be ridiculed on the internet and stuff, like that is a part of being a face, being a brand, being a business, is that everyone's always going to have an opinion on you. You know what I'm saying? But it's to the point where like in my face, I remember somebody was like, I would never like disrespect you like that. Like, nah. And I'm like, okay, because you know better. Watch your mouth in my presence. You get what I'm saying? Like, they just have so much respect for me. You know what I'm saying? Even if a lot of people might not like what I do, but I spark their interest. I intrigue them. They're just like something about me. They're like, that bitch don't stop. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's kind of how it got transmuted. But I remember like I would meet up back with old people, just circle back real quick. You know what I'm saying? And they would either be in misery without me, and this is friendships as well. You know what I mean? They would be miserable and unhappy without me. And I would also end up finding out, like, I remember one time I was talking to a friend, and she's like, yeah, I remember I used to watch you in school. And I'm like, we wasn't friends in school. She's like, I know. She's like, yeah, I always used to watch you. You was always so pretty, everybody liked you, but because I was always acknowledging all these insecurities and all these bad things, I'm like, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, everybody's hating on me, blah 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 blah. And she's like, I'm just like, I'm watching you. I'm like, yeah, she's smart. She's gonna be something in life. Like she's different. She's that girl. And then she's like, and then I ended up being cool with you, and I'm like, this bitch manifested being my friend. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. I do have a high energy. I'm like, this girl literally like is telling me that she wanted to be my friend so bad, and when she finally was my friend, she was so happy. And it's crazy because like you should have valued me better outside of like, material things. A lot of times people can give me a lot of material things, but they project crazy on me, or they want to like keep me somewhere so that they can keep me. And this is friends too. Like a lot of people know that if I leave, I'm gonna surpass them. So they have to keep me so that I can get like good, like I can do good, but not too good so that they can stay around in my life. And I realized I'm like, wow, like, and there was a repetitive story with people saying this, um, of they remember me as something amazing that at that time I didn't remember myself being. And this is why I'm so stuck in my ways of just being all about me, and I know who I am, and I'm unbothered. Because I know fans when I see them. I know people who really love me, and I know what it's like. At the end of the day, I'm a multi-dimensional being. I've lived so many lives, and I tell people that all the times. I have been a lot of different versions of myself. I have been that goth girl. I have been the weird alternative black girl that gets made fun of. I've been the popular cool black girl. I've been unattractive black girl. I've been the sexy black girl that everybody wants. I've been everything, and I've felt so many different perspectives, and just I've been in so many different perspectives, like literally. I know I know what it's like to feel like I have no sex appeal, to having like all the sex appeal in the world, to the point where I'm like, am I a sex icon? You know what I'm saying? Um, and I just realized that people were seeing great things in me that I wasn't giving myself credit for. And people do this to themselves all the time, but I don't waste my time anymore seeing the potential in people, because I had to learn that people have to see the potential in themselves. I've I've poured into my haters, in the past. That's why in one of my songs, my rap songs called Transmutation, I said, I remember trying to teach my haters how to fucking shine. All my life, I could still remember that I'm fucking God. Because I always had this like information embedded in me from a little girl, and this is just who I was, and it always just shined from the inside out. My beauty shines from the inside out. You know what I mean? Everything about me is from the inside out. So that's why I can say things like I'm rich, I'm a brand, I'm a business. Because slowly but surely over time, I have proven these things to myself. When you get, you know, um, and when people are able to see things in themselves, it starts to project from the inside out. When you see beauty in yourself, it projects from the inside out. And I think about this when I talk about the spell that was put on black girls back in the day, when they used to call black women ugly all the time, to the point where like, or just like when they call black women bald all the time, to the point where like if you are a black woman with hair, or if you are a beautiful black woman, they try to put you in a different category, when they just don't like the acknowledgement that black women are beautiful, black women have hair. You know what I'm saying? But I remember I was talking about this like back in the day. We were ugly, and the reason why we were ugly is because I remember like one of the perfect examples was I went to a school called Josiah Quincy, and one of the things that they always teach is false Black history, or repetitive, same loophole Black history, not really saying much or teaching us anything about Black people. And one of the women that they always teach you about is Harriet Tubman. They teach you about Harriet Tubman again and again and again and again and again and again. And they make that the most famous image of a black woman, knowing that they have called black women and black people monkeys and apes and all types of unattractive creatures to make fun of our features, our big noses, our lips, our gap teeth, that are all just a part of Afro eccentric features, indigenous features that they tried to change by saying that it was native, when the native people were black before they made them change all of their identities into Negroes. I just remember like they kept teaching us about Harriet Tubman, and she was ugly. She was every label, every perception, everything that they taught us that ugly was, that's what Harriet Tubman was. She was the perceptual system of ugly. And because that was who we looked up to for Black women, and then Rosa Parks, what was she? An older Black woman. We never, why did they never teach us about young, beautiful, great Black women? Why did we only learn about older Black women? And this was a part of the spell that were put on Black women, and people don't understand that spells and mind over matter, all of this is spell work, all of it. And when you do things like tell someone that they are ugly, you keep them from proximity of beauty. So someone that you keeps getting called ugly is not going to learn things like skincare, upkeep, self-care, how to take care of themselves, so it keeps them away from being beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of why reasons why back in the day Black women were perceived as ugly and were ugly, was because it was a spell that was working from the inside out. You're calling someone ugly and they're not learning how to be beautiful. You're calling someone ugly, so every time they try to be beautiful, they just still see ugly. They're not able to see the beauty in themselves to enhance that. They're just seeing ugly. That is a spell. You know what I'm saying? That's why now a lot of times now that Black women have broken Black women have broken the featureism stereotypes. Black women have broken the colorism stereotypes, the hair texture stereotypes. Now we see beauty being shined in different ways. It's not just like one type of beauty. You know what I mean? It's all beautiful. Now, Black women can be beautiful because we have learned that we are beautiful. You know, now we have beautiful representations of Black women. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that is like small that I think about because I always think about this. Like, eh, um, what? My sock feet looks. I'm scared. Is that a foot fetish? But yeah, so this is how things work from the inside out. It's the same as calling yourself poor. When you constantly call yourself poor, you don't look for any type of luxury in life, right? This is why even the hood has evolved. This is why you see Black people, the same thing when Black people used to be ignorant and uneducated. Come on now. It's the same thing. This is all spell work. It's all spells. It's all mind over matter. It's all science. You know what I'm saying? Spell is science. So, um, Black people had a poverty mindset back then, which is why they were in poverty. Black people now understand that rich people don't dress their kids in designer all the time, unless those are celebrities. That's a part of their richness. And even a lot of celebrities don't pay for that stuff. A lot of that stuff is sponsored. You know what I'm saying? Covered by labels and etc. So they're paying a lot of that stuff off. But Black people learned what luxury and what wealth was. Black people learned that wealth is getting up and going to the gym. Black people learned that wealth is loving your hair and taking care of your hair. Black people learned that wealth is reading books. They learned wealth outside of how to hustle and get money and look good. They learned wealth in from the inside out, and that's why you see a lot more Black people accumulating wealth, teaching wealth, and just having access to this freedom and this vibration of wealth. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I again say acknowledging things like the news and blah blah blah. Acknowledging things that you don't want to see is the worst thing that you can do. And when you do come across things that you don't want to see, acknowledge how you can problem solve and make it better. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's right. Yes. They said fart noises. They said it. I don't care. But yeah, I'm gonna be up here for a little bit because yeah, that's actually, you know what? I feel like this is as long as I can do. This is a really long live. I'll see y'all next time. This is the whole point of saying busy and unbothered. I don't know how many other times I can iterate it to y'all and how I can put it back into science and mind over matter to y'all, but it all goes into my exceptional intelligence and the reason why you're here and subscribe to this YouTube channel today and like my videos. Um, but yes, it's Ani's World. Thank you for watching.